It seemed as if no sketch show or sitcom could be made without a prominent camp character, and unquestionably, leader of the pack was John Inman, who played the perennial bachelor boy, the endearingly niminy-piminy Mr. Humphries in Are You Being Served?
When John got Are You Being Served, he had done some TV work, obviously, but mainly it was theatre. And he and his then partner, Barry Howerd, apparently were the best ugly sisters in the business. They were absolutely brilliant.
There was no mention of Mr. Humphries being capped, or that grew. It sort of got out of hand.
I would have been here at 8:58, but I caught my handbag in the lift.
Handbag?
Well, it's Miss Brahms, actually. She left it on the stairs. She must have been in rather a hurry. Besides, I wouldn't be seen dead with imitation crocodile. Not with these shoes, anyway.
John Inman was certainly, probably, I think, the campest character I remember. And I remember being aware of John Inman obviously being, you know, not as me in his approach to boys and girls, and finding that quite charmingly amusing, you know, and not threatening at all.
Are you free? Well, I was just having a chat to Mr. Lucas, Mr. Granger, but I am free, aren't I, Mr. Lucas?
Oh, yes, you're free. From time to time, we all went, I'm free. And it wasn't until I screamed it that it sort of became mine.
John, are you free? I'm free.
Where's Mr. Humphries? Is he free?
I'm free. I'm very free, Mr. Granger. Yes, I'm free, Mr. Granger. You're free, Captain Peacock.
The walk was my idea, actually. I did it one day at rehearsals purely to make the cast laugh. And as time went on, of course, I had to do that every week.
And, of course, with the high heels, you get that lovely bounce.
He plays it so well. The mannerisms are so, not believable, but they're an exaggeration or a caricature of what you'd expect someone who was maybe unsure about their sexuality to be like.
There's not a lot of subtlety in that performance, but that is not to say that it's a bad performance, because it's a wonderful performance. But you absolutely know and identify with what that character is 100% immediately.
The character was specifically there to be laughed at. And I think that was a departure, a different kind of area to go into in the 70s in camp.
Mr. Humphries, you can't wear a lady's ankle-length fur coat in broad daylight.
You're quite right, Captain Peacock. I'll have it shortened and wear it in the evening.
Well, the BBC did say once to David Croft, yes, we will have some more of these, but get rid of the puff. Now, David Croft said, well, if the puff goes, I go, and the show goes, you know. Very kind of him. I believe they were referring to me, or to Mr. Humphries, anyway.
Mr. Humphries, have you the time?
It depends what you had in mind, Captain Peacock.
I mean, that seems to be a thing about camp comics. They're quite submissive and flirtatious, but they're never predatory, I don't think. You know, and I think if they become predatory, I mean, John Inman was away, and it was almost like he was fishing and trying to touch base with someone who was on a similar wavelength.
I think John Inman did a very good job at what he was asked to do. I think what he was asked to do was pretty appalling, really. I think, but that's the way things were at that time.
Mr. Humphries, take off that ridiculous scarf.
But Captain Peacock!
Don't argue with me. Take it off.
As you wish.
I always thought that Are You Being Served and programs like that were operating with almost no material. And why the Americans like them is a real question. I mean, it's huge now in America, Are You Being Served? And I think it's because they're just starting to dip their toe into the water of camp comedy.
They love it to death, because it's a bit rude.
Do you know, my old headmaster would give a fortune to smell me now.
He'd say, I knew, I told you.
What sort of school did you go to, Mr. Humphrey?
Mixed.
Oh, yeah, girls and boys.
No, just boys.
Camping it up became the comedy fashion of the unrepressed 70s. Thanks to Gay Lib, the opposite sex became a multiple choice. And, of course, our comedians, whether straight or otherwise, seized on the new freedom to express their gaiety.
I'm sure you'd enjoy life in my regiment, sir.
What regiment's that?
The Queen's.
The Queen? Oh, I say.
Go on! Camp it up! Oh, get
Your eyes out.
Something on your mind, soldier? Well, I got me a problem, Miss Gray. You see, I promised that I'd lay on a camp entertainment for the guys. Oh, and you want to borrow my dress?
Chic. I'm not like that. I mean, I may stand like that. But I'm not like that.
You should see what he wears underneath. Oh? He wouldn't dare. Oh!
Outrageous! Violence? What's he know about violence? He's only got a brick and nail he takes to his bed for the rest of the day. No good talking to you, Rigsby. You just don't like him. I don't know why. Well, for one thing, he calls me Ducky. That's why. If he calls me Ducky once more, I shall have him.
Hello, Ducky.